In the year 2028, one Big Mac will equal $1 million. From the Gospel of John McAfee. Bro, just learn to code. The Project Freedom Podcast.
What's up, guys? I'm Josh, or as you probably know me, eLift Program, and I'm here to talk to you about Developer Direction. What is Developer Direction, you might ask? We are the ultimate IT network and training academy. Ever heard of Fight Club? Yeah, it's kind of like that, but with more computing power. We teach and give courses just like boot camps, but that's not all. We help people actually get jobs, unlike colleges, and we help people get better jobs with better pay and a better life. Here at DD, you don't get grades because your performance is reflected upon by how good you're doing in the real world. You won't accumulate hundreds of thousands of dollars in student debt because we offer a one-time yearly fee that's a fraction of that price. And you won't be wasting your time learning about the latest and greatest social trends because you'll be too busy learning about the latest and greatest trends in the tech and IT market. From courses to networking to problem solving to teaming up together on projects, giving and receiving mentorship, we've got it all. So whether you're a beginner who knows nothing about code or tech, a college student, or a 50-year vet, we got you covered. So head on over to developerdirection.com, sign up for the mail list if you want to keep up with our latest and greatest. Boom. Welcome to the Project Freedom Podcast. Yes, Tom, put TRT in the Cheerios, please. Please don't forget to put TRT in the Cheerios. If you don't put TRT in the Cheerios right now, you're a fill in the blank. All right, guys. Episode. Let me check. Check. This is episode 66. Episode 66, friends, and welcome. Yay, it is not, guys. As you guys can't tell, I have some alcohol permeating through my system right now. It is my birthday today, guys. I turned 30 years old today. Wah, wah, wah. There is a name, there's a word in Japanese that it's just one word that signifies a man turning 30, and it means that this is like the best times of his life. Now, a good friend of mine who lives in Tokyo told me that word today, and then also my neighbor who has lived in Tokyo as well also told me the word, but I forgot it. So whatever, we're going to pretend like we know that word. But guys, do you guys want to see what I'm drinking on tonight? I'm going to make a dirty martini in front of all of you guys while we do this stream. So, well, I guess let me move that out of the way so it's not my face. The episode, guys, is how to not be a soy dev. All right. And I guess to be honest with you guys, like, don't necessarily have to drive the stream to say how you as a person shouldn't be a soy dev, because most of my viewers are not soy devs. All right. I actually have a video, which you guys know I'm a smaller channel right now, at least for the time being. And one of my three most viewed my three most viewed videos. All right. The first one is a video of my dog at 8 weeks old. That has 3,000 views. Excuse me, guys. The second most viewed video is how to swap variables, or how to swap data with a temp variable in Java is number 2. And then the third video is called Attack of the Soy Devs. In that video, Attack of the Soy Devs, I kind of just like explained what a soy dev means to me and what it is to me. Now, I had like, and people still watch that video till this day. That is actually one of my most trafficked videos, I think, because people just like search soy dev, or because people look at Luke Smith, and I think that video shows up after his videos under recommendations. But if you actually search the words soy dev, my video is the first one that shows up. Even if you log out of your account, you're not following me if you're from a random account, because I've had other people test it for me. Which is funny because Luke's videos on soy devs have like almost 100,000 views. All right. In that video, I explained what a soy dev is to me, because what it is to me and what it is to Luke Smith are slightly different things. Although Luke is not a soy dev by either of the definitions. People comment on that video still this day, and I get some like hateful comments. And I've actually had some people post like several different comments, delete them, comment something else, delete that, then put it back and try to argue with me about how I am actually a soy dev and that they're not a soy dev, even though I don't know them and they don't know me. But in that video, I expressed some of the frustration I had in my career as a software engineer dealing with people who I call quote unquote soy devs. All right. These days, guys, I'm not so much an engineer anymore. I do things that are a little outside of the scope of engineering, although I do still write my code for fun. I do still write the own code for I do still write my own code for my website and a couple other things. And I teach and mentor people how to code as well. But that actually has a lot to do with what we're going to talk about, okay? So first, real quick, guys, if you don't mind, let me please make a dirty martini. If you guys want to know how to make a dirty martini, I'm going to show you guys, all right? So actually, I had to borrow this from my neighbor because I went to 4 different stores to look for a shaker. I don't have a shaker in this house yet, and I couldn't find them. So I borrowed this from my neighbor. A martini glass. It's a little dirty because I've been drinking out of it, all right? Got some olive juice residue on there. And guys, I actually I prefer vodka for my dirty martinis or just martinis in general. I like gin, but I prefer to drink gin on its own. I really don't want to drink gin as a martini. I just think that the botanicals like make things taste weird, especially if it's a dirty martini, because a dirty martini is supposed to basically taste like salty and neutral. So if you taste plants in a dirty martini, it's like botanically, it's not very salty and neutral. But all right, so make sure I don't make a mess here and destroy everything that I have sitting down here. All right, so basically, I got this full of ice, guys. All right, this is the big guy. Actually, I probably should have put that in here. All right, too late. So what I'm going to do is so you would, if you're going by the books, you want to do like 3 to 4 ounces of vodka or gin, and then 1 ounce of vermouth. This is dry vermouth. This is what is this? Martini and Rossi. This is probably not like the best vermouth out there, but honestly, guys, vermouth is just vermouth. Like you're not gonna drink vermouth to get drunk. It's just a mixer. It's basically just like moldy wine. And then about 1 ounce of that. And then, so I fucked up on this, guys. I fucked up on this part. So I got blue cheese stuffed olives. I don't know if that's gonna focus. Okay. So you usually put the brine in there as well, because that's actually what gives it all the flavor. And you toss a couple of those guys in there. So I got the blue cheese olives because after you drink the drink and you get to eat the olives, it's a nice treat because it's got blue cheese in it, right? But a trick that I did not know, which my neighbor, by the way, is an ex-professional photographer who has also been he's a ex like alcohol professional photographer. In fact, I think he's taken pictures for Grey Goose. So he's been around like a lot of like fancy kitchen and stuff. So he knows how to do all this stuff very well. And he was telling me, and I guess you guys might know this already, I don't. He was telling me that I should take the olives and like mash them in there and like make the olives turn into their own brine. Well, I can't really do that with blue cheese olives because if I do, like little blue cheese gets stuck all in that. But anyway, whatever, guys. All right. So first, and I don't have a shot glass or anything, so we're just gonna eyeball this, all right? So we're gonna do like what? Let's pretend this is 3 ounces of vodka. All right, it's about 3 ounces, right? Whatever. And Grey Goose is pretty like, tastes like nothing. It's pretty like neutral flavored vodka. All right, one ounce of vermouth. And maybe like a little bit more. All right. All right. Okay. And then finally, friends. Finally. Now I got a towel here, guys. I don't know how the fuck I'm going to do this on this desk without making a mess. But I'm going to put some of that brine in there. All right. All right, lads. This should be good. Hopefully I don't totally destroy everything over here. All right. Yeah, definitely already messed it up a little bit because I should have put that in there anyway. Okay. I'm going to do that. I'm going to like... All right, I'm going to shake this, guys. I think it's safe. I think it's not going to explode everywhere, but we'll see. Fine. Eee! All right. I don't know, guys. A little sus. Hold on. Okay. All right. Here we go. Here we go, guys. Now I'm just going to pour it on up. There we go. I think we're good. I think we're safe, guys. I think we are fucking safe. One last part, fellas. One last part. Hold on. Dog, you can't have martinis, dog. That's not good for you, dog. 1 olive. 2 olive. All right, I'm gonna eat that. I'm gonna eat the crap out of that in a second. All right, let's see how it is, guys. Let's see how it is. Should probably should button my shirt so I have my breasts exposed over here. All right. The best one I made so far tonight. I think it's supported so much goddamn olive juice in it. Let me check up with the chat before we get into this. Solo says, stop them all. Yes, Solo. We will stop all the Z-Soy devs. Wade Emery says, hello, everybody. It's another day. Nick's Legend. Yo, yo, yo. Congratulations to Rittenhouse. Sam being in middle Florida stick. Put TRT in the cheers. That's I saw that. EP 69. It's 69. Oh, okay. 69. Excuse me, guys. Happy birthday. Thank you. So old. Yes. Grandpa now. Club Hexco 2063. Happy birthday, Josh. Happy birthday to you too, even though it might not be your birthday. Ashley Schaefer, BMW in the house, says push the like button. Happy birthday. Thanks, man. I appreciate it very much. Spark55 says hello. Hello to you too. Josh is the expert on soy devs. Hit dogs holler. Indeed. JP says happy birthday, ma'am. Thank you very much, JP. Gin Master Race. What kind of gin do you like, Nick? Just curious. It's not that I dislike gin. I just prefer vodka with my martinis. Sam's gin is for Olman. I don't know. Depends what kind. Depends what kind. They should have mixer sets at Target. Got my whole setup from there. Okay. Check it out. Alex says, Josh, this is cool. Haven't had a damn drink in many moons. Yeah, it's been about like a month for me. And the last time I drank, I was with Sam, and we had 2 dirty martinis. And we actually went to the SLS that night. Guys, when I don't make these very strong, when I go somewhere else, they always make them super fucking strong. And like 2 of them will get me sloshed. But maybe it's because I'm old now. Cheese not good. Sam, my grandma endorses that statement. Club Hexco 2036 says blue cheese martini sounds like some dirty porn genre. It does, doesn't it? Let's pretend this is 3 ounces. Josh pours 10. Shaken, not stirring. Yeah, I do like it shaken. Blue cheese, yeah, not sure about that. Cheers. Jaron George, happy birthday, bro. Thank you, dude. Appreciate it. Thank you, Alex. 4 is the happy birthday. And okay. I think I'm missing something on this frame. Hold on, guys. Yes. Yes. I got to fix this. Guys, Pablo actually made me, you see that? I put it back off and on again. Pablo made me a new one that isn't going to get in the way of my face, but I've been too lazy to deploy it. So sorry, Pablo. Okay, guys, what is a soy dev? And again, I'll preface this by saying, if you watch this video and you're not, or you are a Luke Smith fan or follower, or you've watched his videos, what I call a soy dev and what he calls a soy dev are two completely different things. All right. Although I would say that you could merge them together because Luke is pretty based. Luke is kind of a mountain boomer, but he is pretty based, dude. And I think his beliefs, for the most part, align with mine, except for he's a Monero maxi. So aside from that, so soy dev. What is that? Okay, so what I would declare as a soy dev, one thing you guys gotta understand, and some of you guys that are in the field already or just are in the software development, software engineering community, period, more people than not in that community kind of tend to be a little different than the average human being. Okay. Now, I don't mean that with any sort of like prejudice. I don't mean that to be mean. I don't mean that to be an asshole. All right. I'm just trying to be as, I guess, to the point as possible. Right. And I'm not just making this up. Okay. Many people will contest to this. All right. People that get into, well, let's clear one thing out first and foremost, guys. To learn how to code, to be a software engineer, to be a developer, you either know how to do it just naturally by like being a script kiddie, all right, which means you probably have an extraordinarily high IQ, all right. You probably didn't have to like go to school for it, or if you did, you probably didn't even go to class. Maybe you didn't even go to school for it, and you just generally know how to write code, and you probably have a very high IQ. The other type of people in software development, they might be average or normal high IQ, but they may be trained for a long time. They studied, they gave a lot of effort to try to figure out how to do these things so they can get a job for it and make money off it. And those people tend to be slightly different from the first set of people. And then there's probably like a third set of developers who are just like, they have neither of those two skills. All right. I guess if we're speaking of skills here, you could say one leans towards more of the EQ spectrum and one leads more towards the IQ spectrum. And I would say the ones on the IQ spectrum try to me, at least, tend to be further into that spectrum than the other set of people. All right. Now, this all just may be dubious speculation. All right. This all just might be in my head, but from everyone I talk to, it seems to be the same case. Even people that are very smart people, because I know people in this chat who are developers and have worked at very, very well-to-do places and are also very high IQ, and even they themselves will contest that this is the case, all right? But the ones that tend to be towards the extremely high IQ side have what I noticed or have a fault that I've noticed. Now, it's not to say that we all don't have faults. I'm not saying that I am on this side or that I'm not on this side. I'm not saying that I don't have faults, because I most certainly do. All right. But there are a set of those people, and honestly, too, guys, even within that set of people, there's like an even smaller set of developers who are they're so fucking smart that they can't do anything except code. All right. Now, this is great. Great if they can just crank out code and just do a good job. But it's not great when it comes time to either deal with people or to be open-minded. Now, the open-minded part is the part that I think is the most important, because dealing with people is not always fun, especially if you are not, at least, I wouldn't say a smarter person per se, but at least if you're not a quote unquote normie, dealing with people who you would consider to be normies can be painful. All right. But these quote unquote soy devs tend to have some issues with dealing with people. Like they can't even pretend to deal with people. All right. When it comes time dealing with them, they will do things that are kind of like they lack. They're socially inept. They lack the social acuity to know what to do and what not to do. All right. Now, instead of sitting here and just me like blabbering off and continuing to tell you guys like, oh, what I think a definition of a soy div is, blah 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 blah. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to tell you guys two stories. All right. Now, the first story is a story that I tell to people in developer direction, or I have told several times. I haven't, probably for the newer guys. You guys probably haven't heard this story, but I'll tell it to the people who already know. I'll tell it to you guys again. And you guys are like, oh, I know what. You guys probably like, oh, I already know what he's going to say. Tom Graff says, I didn't realize Monero Maxi was a thing. Oh, it is, dude. Jaron George says, Jaron George is saying the quiet part out loud. Let's be honest, most devs are cucked. No comment. Call W says, happy birthday. Thank you, my friend. Sorry, guys. I was responding to an immediate message, an urgent message immediately. Excuse me. Maybe I'm already drunk. All right, guys. So I'm going to tell you guys a story of little Josh, back when little Josh was a college student in the computer science department of the good old University of Mississippi. Ole Miss. Yee yee. And we actually we probably at the time we had the best computer science department in the state, which doesn't say much because it's Mississippi. But okay. So you guys, like, if you guys look at me, I don't, if put it this way, if someone meets me now, I'm a little bit smaller in stature now than I was in the last like 5 years. But if someone meets me, and they ask me what I do for a living, their first guess is like, oh, you're like a personal trainer, or like, oh, you work in like sales or business or something like that. And it was always like, no, I'm a software engineer. And their initial reaction was like, what? Really? You? Now, why is that? That is because what do most normies think when they hear the word, let's not even say software engineer or developer, let's just say the word programmer, right? Please, Nick says, please say plumber, like Mario. I'm just a simple, I think I've said that before actually to somebody. Lost my train of thought. Okay. All right. God bless it, Nick. So what the reason for that is because when you hear the word programmer, what do you think of? You think of like somebody in their like mom's basement who has like Cheetos dust on their chin, probably has like a neck beard, literally, which is where that meme came from, the word neck beard. Enter whatever kind of attributes that you want to say there. I think that was enough to get the idea across. All right. And I don't necessarily look like that, right? Geeks. Yes. Club Hexco, genuine nerd. Yes. Geeks, says Nick Sledgelian. Yes. Cheeto dust, says Tom Graff. Yeah, I think you guys get the point. Cheers to you guys on that. So needless to say, when I was in school, I was kind of an outcast in the computer science department. All right, guys. That was because most of the people in there, like when I tried to go talk to them, they were like, beep, 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 beep. Like, you guys know, you ever seen the movie Grandma's Boy? JP or JT, the guy from Grandma's Boy with the black leather jacket, who was like, you cannot see me. They were kind of like that. All right. Now, there were some people in there that were not like that. Unfortunately, those guys didn't end up being successful at all. But the ones that were like that, which is like, I'd say like 95%, I didn't get along with them. All right. And it sucked for me too, because at the same time, I also didn't get along with the normal people at school because I felt like they were all fucking stupid. And I felt like I had nothing in common with anybody. Like I didn't fit in anywhere. And people either thought I was like dumb or people thought I was like very smart. So I didn't fit in with literally anybody anywhere. But because of that, I had a lot of time to observe people in a computer science department at the very least. All right. Now, a lot of people in computer science department that were successful, they were quiet. They were kind of like the typical nerd. And then there was a few who I would say would wear they would have a level 99 RuneScape skill cape of soy dev. All right. I can think of probably like 4 or 5 at the top of my head. But one in particular, guys, all right, one in particular, and we'll just call this individual K, like the letter K. I won't say the real name, but oh man, let's see if I can how I can phrase this with being as like politically correct as possible, because usually I have a little bit more liberty in my webinars. But K was a strange individual. K had an identity crisis, I guess is one way to put it. All right. K didn't really know what they were, if you guys know what I'm saying. I won't say it literally because for fear that the overlords at YouTube will get upset. But I think you guys know what I'm saying. K did not know what they were. All right. And K was a social outcast in the computer science department, just like I was, except they were on the other end of the spectrum, like far to the other way, right? Now, I remember all the different classes I took, from algorithms to machine language to, man, literally anything that I was in with K. K would come to that class, and first of all, K was like the teacher's pet. Always had to raise K always had to raise K's hand, and always had something to say, some kind of like comment on what the teacher was saying, as if they knew more than the teacher, right? As if they were smarter than the teacher, which they weren't. A lot of times they were wrong. But one of the K's fatal flaws was K's ability, or inability rather, to admit or even to think or consider that they could be wrong. Right? Aside from that, though, on tests and assignments, K did really good. And senior year, I had a specific class. It was like a 500 level class. We used Java as the language for this class, but the class wasn't meant to have anything to do with Java. It's just that our computer science department used Java for like our core classes. And the idea of the class was to basically mimic a real world work or development scenario with a team. All right. With a team is the point here. And one semester long, we come in the first time in class, and the teacher gives us an assignment. The assignment is basically he wants us to, and this is back in like 2014 or 15. The teacher wants us to make to simulate a Bitcoin exchange in Java. It was a hard-coded Bitcoin exchange, and like actually the funny part is like there was a broker class, which was funny because I think Coinbase definitely existed back then, because yeah, I know for certain Coinbase existed back then. But anyway, he was a boomer and he was really big into Bitcoin, the teacher himself. And we had to like have a class for like and when I say class, I'm talking about a class in object-oriented programming. You programmers know what I'm talking about. You other guys don't, but a broker class, or broker.java, whatever. Anyway, the first day of class, he gives us the assignment, and what we're all supposed to do is the entire class is supposed to pick team members of 4 or 5. Everybody gets together, and then basically for the whole semester, we don't have to come to class except for a few times to just like show updates to the class and to our professor about our progress on the project, okay? Everybody kind of found a team member. I just kind of like took whatever I could because I really wasn't friends with most of the people. I was, like I told you guys, I was kind of different than most of them. Now, K didn't get on a team with anybody, right? It wasn't just that like nobody wanted to have K on their team. K just literally didn't even try to team up with anybody, as if they were like,
I don't need any team members for this project. I am far superior to you guys. My 300,000 IQ play is going to destroy you all.
and so K was alone. All right, which is fine because you guys will. Well, never mind. I won't ruin the story. But anyway, the first check-in that we had, and I think it was like maybe a month in the semester. All of us supposed to take turns with our groups going up to the podium and giving like an update to our professor and to the class, like, oh, here's where we are with our code. And with the team, you're supposed to like deal with people on the team. People are supposed to do certain parts. You're supposed to be communicative, right? Which is the point of the whole class. But that really isn't the point of the story. The point of the story is the first time we came to come show everything, K already had theirs completely finished. Which in hindsight, like I could go back now and do that myself in one night. All right. And probably just like under, I don't know. I can make a really shitty one in an hour and a half, depending on like how fast I'm going. But back then that was a big deal because in school, we never really learned anything about the real world. We just learned stupid bullshit that was kind of irrelevant. Besides the point. And I remember like being blown away by K and be like, dude, they just did what? How the fuck? And I remember thinking to myself, like, man, maybe you're not cut out to be an engineer. Maybe you're not like smart enough. Maybe you're not good enough. Maybe you're not like weird enough. Even though I was weird to normal people and I was weird to the weird people. And I was kind of upset. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little jealous of K. Now, from that moment onwards, I went and did everything I could to do the best that I could in school. Guys, I never made, and this is not a brag because to be honest with you, the classes at school were not hard. I never made less than a B on any computer science class. But after that point, I was like, and that was just me putting in very little effort. And again, it was Ole Miss. So after that, I was like, I really actually want to learn. I don't want to be in this like tutorial hell school anymore. I actually want to learn stuff. So I would go learn things that were relevant to school. Because on my mind, I was like, I need to find out if I'm actually good enough to do this. Like, do I even have the capabilities of this? Because this literal, very strange person who can't even talk to people and thinks they're right about everything, but it also lacks the ability to like have inward reflection on themselves. That part was apparent to me. Did a way better job than me, and will I ever be as good as this person? I was legitimately hurt. I was upset by it. I was like, maybe not like meh, but I was like, man, like I was more so hurt at myself. Like, hey, maybe the problem is you. Maybe the problem is like your abilities, not the fact that you won't try. But you know what I did, guys, is I ended up trying. I graduated and I got a great first job. All right, a very great first job. The place that I got a job at is kind of like, well, I don't really care if I get doxxed, but we'll say it's like the Google of Mississippi. All right, which doesn't mean much because it's Mississippi. But anyway, now before I graduated, when I was still a student, I used to like to eat Jimmy John's a lot. Jimmy John's subs. Are you guys familiar with Jimmy John's? K was a delivery person for Jimmy John's, all right? And that was K's employment in school, which right on, like you got to do what you got to do when you're in school to make money. Now, when I graduated, I moved off to Jackson, Mississippi for about 2 years, 1 year, 9 months, ish, blah, plus or minus a month, whatever. And I no longer knew anyone or saw anyone at the good old city of Oxford, Mississippi. Again, until I had someone slid into my LinkedIn DMs, and they offered me basically like 25 grand a year more than what I was currently making at this other place. And I said, right on, I'm definitely taking the opportunity. Lo and behold, that job happened to be back in my college town of Oxford, Mississippi. And I had to move back to my college town, right? So, I accept the offer. I end up just driving back and I get settled in. And I remember like the first week, I don't know exactly the day, but we didn't have a Jimmy John's where I was living at in Jackson. I actually lived in the suburbs of Jackson, Brandon, Mississippi. So there was no Jimmy John's there, just Subway. And I was like, man, I fucking miss Jimmy John's. I'm going to go to Jimmy John's. So here I am at the time, a year, almost 2 years post graduation with 2 years of experience underneath my belt and on my second job. At that point, very, very, very close to making six figures. And I wasn't even 25 years old yet. I was about 23, maybe 24 at the time. And I actually had learned, the important part here for me is at least I had learned an insurmountable amount of like just real world skills and things, especially with programming and software development in general too, that part more so than anything, on the job than I had ever learned at school. And so I get back to my town, my college town, I go into Jimmy John's, all right? And there Kay was, still working at Jimmy John's. Okay? Now that fucking blew my mind. That blew my fucking mind because I was thinking like this person is going to be working for like the NSA, like 100%. Lo and behold, they were still working at Jimmy John's. Now, why do you guys think that is? Jared George says most programmers are obese and not very popular with them either. Yes. Alex says a pencil-necked geek. Yes. Nonstop Dre 360 says, so you're saying you've been destined for greatness? Yes. Jaron George says, K was from the Rainbow Squad. Yes. I'm glad you understood that. Club Hexkin 360 says non-zeros and ones. Yes. Did K identify as it/they? Yes. Man, my audience is fucking smart. Spark55 says, oh, I see that type of person. And I'm not putting this category of people down, all right, guys? I'm not. It just so happened that K happened to be the star of this story. And I have another story afterwards, and it's not the same type of person, but so what is K doing now? Are they a diversity deputy to Fan Company? I'm not sure. I mean, for all I know, they could still be working at Jimmy John's in Oxford, Mississippi. Patricio says, shoo, Java. Yes. K is protesting Dave Chappelle and Netflix. Yes. Benghazi. Maybe not weird enough. So Spark55. Yep. Jimmy John sounds like a country singer's name. You guys don't have a Jimmy John's over there? It's way better than Subway. Way better than Subway. So like at that point, guys, like I was really confused, but I also felt like at that point, so it had been like almost 3 years at the time that I've been like, okay, I need to like do everything I can in my power to get better and to just accept where I'm lacking and where I'm not, and just get better. Now, it appeared to me, and I didn't talk to Kay other much than like, hey, how are you doing? Like, good to see you again, blah, blah, blah. Please don't spit in my sandwich. At least that was what I was thinking, because I didn't think Kay liked me very much, even though I never talked to Kay. It was like every time Kay looked at me when we were in school, excuse me, I used the wrong PRONOUN. They looked at me with a very angry stare. All right. And I was like, dude, I this person and I have to admit, guys, like, my friends and my followers, you guys may or may not have a certain perception on my level of intelligence. When I was 12 years old, I had an extensive, it wasn't just an IQ test, but like a physical and psychological analysis on myself. Don't ask me why. So I know what I know on paper, which who even knows those things are like accurate or not. I know like technically where I should stand on paper. And I'm not dumb. All right. I'll tell you that. I'm not dumb. Now, K, I don't know what K's quote unquote paper cloud intelligence number was, but K was fucking brilliant. Like, if I had to trust somebody to decipher or to solve some sort of like discrete mathematical problem that from like a 600 level math class, I would be like, sure, K, take it. Me, I would have to like work it out, right? I wouldn't be able to think and just do it. I would have to like work it out. But the fact that I was able to do that made me realize that maybe those things that I thought were lacking in myself to make me a good developer or to just progress in this career period wasn't just a weakness, but it could have potentially been a strong point as well, right? Now, the biggest things I would say about K is, and I don't know K a whole lot, all right? And K, you very well, if you're listening to this, you very well may be a fucking sweetheart, right? Or someone from my school is listening to this. You probably know exactly who I'm talking about, and well, at that point, I wanted to say anything because you just know. But not saying they were a bad person, but like the kind of person that interrupts a professor that has like 30 years of experience doing like anything more than any of us have done in our entire lives so far, which today I've turned 30 years old. So it would have to be more than I've done in my whole life at back at the time. To interrupt a professor and to tell them like, man, well, what about this? I am right because I am the supreme ruler and overlord, blah. Like, it's like you like just shut up and have an open mind, and maybe the dude that literally has worked at Microsoft for 20 years, that came here to teach us machine language, might know a little bit more about machine language than you. Kay had an inability to have an open mind and to think that like, how can I open up my mind to get better? So the number one flaw I see in a soy dev is the fact that they lack the ability to have an open mind. They lack the ability to admit that they even could potentially be wrong. And thus how do you guys, when you learn from a mistake, you have to make a mistake first, right? First step is you have to make a mistake. The second step is you have to admit that what you did was a mistake. And the third step is that you have to take either advice or learn from get your own advice from learning from your mistake. But that last part doesn't happen until the switch goes off in your brain that says, I need to fix something that was my fault. If you're not thinking that, then you're never even going to get to the point where you're thinking, how can I get better? All right. That is the primary flaw that I say would be indicative of a quote unquote soy dev. Because in actuality, guys, it's got nothing to do with the way that you look. It's got nothing to do with what your political alignment is. It's got nothing to do with anything in the three-dimensional realm. It's got all to do with how you are up here. And it just so happens to me to seem that people that are kind of the similar, like align the same, are the ones that feel that way. Okay. Max Signitas says, does your ETH address accept birthday gift donations? Depends which ETH address it is. I'm not sure which one it is, but if you don't send me 1,000 Shiba Inu tokens right now, you're insert XYZ. Nonstop Drake 360 says Kay was probably insufferable to work with in the real world and got fired quickly, or she even shame on you, Josh. If they even got a job, I don't know. Being even a somewhat well-adjusted programmer fills the dot devs with envious rage. Yes. Spark55 says, well, if my experience in these type of people tend to be the most obedient, which is why they excel in school, but not so much in the field. Yeah, you're thinking right, dude. You're thinking right. The irony of having to tell a rainbow person to have an open mind. Think about it, dude. Right? 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 That used to, the thought that sentence right there you said, that thought used to infuriate me years ago, but nowadays I'm like, well, what can you expect? These are the kind of people that can't get out of the first gear of thinking, all right? And that goes regardless of your intelligence level, regardless of your IQ. Not being able to get out of that first gear of thinking. So if you have a Porsche 911 GTS, that first gear, that can get you to fucking like 0 to 30 in like 1.2 seconds, right? Maybe if you have a 2008 Honda Civic, that first gear might get you to 1 to 40 in, I don't know, 3.5 seconds, all right? So some people's first gears are much more powerful than others. But if you can't get past that first gear, see, there's literally 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and sometimes even 7, and a reverse after that. And those are all very useful. And if you can't get past that first gear thinking, you're wasted potential. For regardless of who you are, all IQ levels, all subsets of pink, purple, polka dotted people at all, right? Stop. Do K drink Soylent on a daily basis? I have no idea. Not an inserts XYZ. You get it, JP. You get it. Alex says, being tech should teach you to be humble. Someone always knows something you don't. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Never underestimate human stupidity and ego. Yeah, you just have to have no expectations for people. And if you just have no expectations for people, you have a lot more peace in life. Zubair says, how would you improve your problem solving and logical skills for web dev? It's a good question. So it depends. If you mean front end, there's really not a lot of logical stuff, right? But if you mean just like web development in general, then this answer wouldn't have to be like pertinent to just web development. It could be for all development, but so in developer direction, every time we have someone new, maybe some people move faster than the others. In fact, like Zoomers, like the fucking Zoomers, they go from like novice level to like, hey, this person could get a 6-figure salary. Like this person could, in my mind, I'm thinking this literal kid, and I know several of them in there, literal kids could handle 6-figure salary jobs better than other people that I know who are getting paid 6-figure salary jobs. They can get there in like a month, right? Some people maybe takes them 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, a year to get to where they feel comfortable solving problems. But in that first amount of time that you're doing that, everybody, regardless of the Zoomer or whatever, they kind of enter this thing called like tutorial hell. Okay. And tutorial hell, it's not fun because it's simulated. It's artificial. All right. Like, oh, we got to go do this kind of project. We got to go do this kind of project, blah, 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 blah. And you do learn from those kind of projects, but people aren't usually like extremely actively engaged in those projects because it doesn't mean a whole lot to them. They know going into it, they're like, hey, this is a notch on my portfolio. This is a checklist. All right. Like there's an obvious problem here and I have to go solve that obvious problem. But when you actually give somebody something that they want to build, you don't really maybe tell them, hey, I want you to go do it. I want you to go make a web scraper in Python. I want you to scrape me this exact element from CoinMarketCap. All right. Something like that. If you just tell them like, they tell you, hey, I have a kind of project that I want to build in code. I really don't know how to do it. I'm thinking about like this or this different technology or stack of technologies. And maybe you give them a recommendation like, hey, I think this would be better for you to do that. Let them go and do it themselves. since it's a project that they want to actually build and do, they're going to be more actively engaged in it. The time's going to fly by faster for them because it's going to be enjoyable to them. It's not going to be painful. And when they actually get into a problem, they're not going to know what that problem is going to be before even getting there, like you would with a simulated problem. And instead of just giving up, they're like, hey, I want to do this project because I want to finish it for myself. So I'm going to figure it out. So I guess one thing I would tell you to do that is to actually like think of something that you want to build that isn't like, hey, I'm going to build this in order to like level up, like something that you want to build just for you and just figure out how to do it. That's probably going to help you more than literally anything. Tech, yes. Soy devs, says Sam. Martini glass equals classy AF stream. Thank you. Martini glass saying yes. Mainly for back into Django is killing me. I don't know. Ask Sam Perchinsky in the chat. I think Sam knows a thing or two about the Django. Sam says the Django is overkill. Nonstop Dre 360 says, so you're saying the Zoomers are zooming through the levels? Yeah, dude. It's like scary, bro. The Zoomers are, it ain't no joke, dude. Two of the Zoomies or three of the Zoomies are literally working at Guava Labs and getting paid for it. So like they did that pretty fucking quick. Not because they asked, but because I needed them to. Max says programming on your own projects involves very different mental process compared to following a tutorial. Yeah, dude, 100%, 100%. When you're following a tutorial, like honestly, guys, you kind of, if you're like, hey, okay, let's just say you're like, hey, I want to go understand bubble sort algorithm. So when you follow the tutorial, you already know what problem you're trying to figure out, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to learn anything from it, but there's no surprises there. There's no like, whoa, this weird thing came up out of nowhere. Like you already know what you're going to get into, and it's just like, meh. This is scientific. This is for like educational purposes only. And when you get into the real world, when you actually do real world code, when you're actually creating software systems for real people to really use, problems, undiagnosed or unprepared for problems pop up all the time. Literally all the time. Out of the blue. In fact, if you do one project from start to finish and there's no problems in it, you're not a real person or something went wrong and you don't know about it, right? There's always going to be some sort of quirky problem that you don't expect in computer science, right? That is a fucking fact. I don't care if you think otherwise. Suck my ass and go do whatever you think is best for you, because that's a fact. I'm being 100% transparent, you guys. That is a fact, my friends, okay? And these problems might not, 90% of the time, they're not even related to the software. They're like some weird problem with like some other like tech or something that you're using, okay? And when those things show up, they're unprecedented. So you have to go and you actually have to actively problem solve and troubleshoot. And you might not have anybody there to hold your hand. Maybe you'll have guidance from somebody, like if you're in DD and one of the older dudes or someone, you know, kind of above you, they'll say, I have never had this problem before because it's unique to you. I've had problems like it. I would suggest that you do steps 1, 2, 3, and 4 to get that problem solved. They can give you suggestions what to do, and then you can go try steps 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you'll get it solved. But you still have to go and do those steps. And that problem is still unprecedented. So it's like you level up more doing that than if you were to just simulate things. Kind of like if you liked mixed martial arts. Like, are you going to become a better mixed martial arts fighter if you're fighting with a bag or if you actually have real fights? They both have their applications, but obviously which one levels you up the most? We know the answer to that. Nonstop Dre says, that's what I hated about Code Academy. I feel like constant tutorial hell. You need DD, my friend. You need DD. Sam says, Gensler wants to crack down on crypto after watching your stream. He became upset after mishearing developer direction as develop an erection. He can no longer do this, so he is now seeking revenge. Mr. Gensler, suck my asshole. I don't like you. Cody Moose says, sheesh, I'm late. I'll rewatch for my sins. It's okay, Cody. Good to see you, dude. The boy I made, I used to it every day and made for my personal stuff. I really enjoy it. Enjoy making it. The bot. Patricio, when did you make a bot? We're going to put that bot in the chat, Patricio. I don't know how many bots we got in there now. I'm definitely better at problem solving real world problems versus algos. I'm ass at shit like bubble sort. Yeah, I mean, like, how entertaining, that's another thing too. I mean, this is probably like maybe a problem that I only have. Like, how entertaining is it to like solve a problem that's kind of like been there, done that, like, and again, that might be my own problem, but I just like problems that pop up. Like, this is like, hey, this is cool, this is fun, this is enjoyable, and not like this problem, wagey problem number 7247 from textbook 32. The bot I made, I use it every day for personal stuff. I really enjoy making it. Oh, that's the Python bot you made, right? Monster Dre says, I used to do Code Academy a year ago, but stopped using it. Those things have their use cases, dude. But like, without having to plug DD super hard, like the reason, and we have gotten so many people jobs this year. Like I literally have lost count. I need to go get testimonials from each and every one of them to put on there. But like DD, there's nothing like it because it was created to be something different than anything else. Me and other people saw the flaws and like the mentorship, apprenticeship, or therefore lack of, and noticed from myself having a mentor and other things in the real world that the amount of the speed at which I could level up, because I had someone literally walking me through things but not holding my hand. It was like, where has this been? And like, that's why that group is so good. Like, there's nothing else like it. It's better than school. It's better than school if your focus is to get money and get a job and get a career, because we have gotten plenty of people, several people recently too, a job who have never been to school in under a year's time. So, I won't. Stop, Josh, stop. Max says, you could implement a binary tree as a project, but it doesn't leave you with an interesting story to share. Yeah, exactly. Patricia says, one of the reasons I never got into code in the past was because the tutorial hell from websites like Code Academy, but not with DD. In just 3 months, I'm making code finally. Yeah, Patricia, and honestly, Patricia, you're pretty good already too. Like, you're one of those people that I think you're ready to start getting a job. Like, Patricia, believe it or not, there's people who work as developers who are not even as good as you, which is funny. Yeah, I like solving things that are actually going to push the project forward, not an algorithm that everyone has already done that really doesn't solve anything. Yeah, exactly. How often do you use algos like bubble sort when you program personal projects? 0. I've used it 0 times. I've used a for loop inside of a nested for loop maybe like once or twice before, but that was for something incredibly nuanced in particular. But again, that's not really an algorithm. So that's the only thing that I've like something that I've had to study before that I've had to use in the real world. That's it. Never use an algorithm in the real world, period, because honestly, most of those algorithms are like there's a function that you can call to do it for you nowadays. But if I did have to, I would go to Google. I would look at the algorithm and I would take it and manipulate it to my task and have it work for it. That's what I would do. Step through it. Just step through it, bro. Sam Patrici says, Cody Moose, can you code a self-balancing tree in 8 languages from scratch? Probably not. I'd die bored. Wow, 0. Yeah, I'm serious, dude. I'm serious. I'm not saying nobody has, but like a lot of stuff they teach you in school is like, it's quote unquote theoretical computational science. So it's not like it's theoretical. It's for learning purposes. It's not for real world. And most of the stuff that we teach at DD is for the real world. Well, college and boot camps are there more for the theoretical realm. Although I would say boot camps lean less toward the theoretical realm. I'm getting empty on this drink, guys. But I do have the second story to tell. So I'm going to go grab some ice because now I can actually be a degenerate and leave my stream like other people that know this stream because I have a commercial to play. So I'll be right back. What's up, guys? I'm Josh, or as you probably know me, Elif Program, and I'm here to talk to you about developer direction. What is developer direction, you might ask? We are the ultimate IT network and training academy. Ever heard of Fight Club? Yeah, it's kind of like that, but with more computing power. We teach and give courses just like boot camps, but that's not all. We help people actually get jobs, unlike colleges, and we help people get better jobs with better pay and a better life. Here at DD, you don't get grades because your performance is reflected upon by how good you're doing in the real world. You won't accumulate hundreds of thousands of dollars in student debt because we offer a one-time yearly fee that's a fraction of that price. And you won't be wasting your time learning about the latest and greatest social trends because you'll be too busy learning about the latest and greatest trends in the tech and IT market. From courses to networking to problem solving to teaming up together on projects, giving and receiving mentorship, we've got it all. So whether you're a beginner who knows nothing about code or tech, a college student, or a 50-year vet, we got you covered. So head on over to developerdirection.com, sign up for the mail list if you want to keep up with our latest and greatest. Hey, I'm coming back. All right, I'm back. I put the glass with the ice in the correct section this time, boys and girls. You know, guys, and this can't be true because I know several women who do follow me and have watched my shows before. On the analytics, it says that 100% of my audience is male, which I'm totally cool with, but I think that's funny. Guys, do you want me to not bother you guys with me making my next one and play a funny video for y'all? Sam says, I can't do that either. No one else has it. Win super chats. 7, 8, 9, 10. We need 530 more subscribers. Just 530 more subscribers soon. Do doubly linked lists with arrays within maps, within sets, interpreted as CVS, CSV, and then read as cells, interlinked within cells, interlinked within cells, interlinked within cells, interlinked. Guys, the private Western CNTRAL bank. I don't like this, guys. I don't like them at all. I want to 1v1 them in a video game in RuneScape across the wilderness ditch and level 2, no multi, just singular and just one item. No one item and one special attack item, no secondary, no prayer, bro, no smite either, and they would get destroyed. All right, guys, I'm gonna play this real quick so I can make this drink real quick and not bother you guys.
Pump it again. End the game.
What the bloody hell is going on? The shakeout wasn't finished yet. Why haven't we crashed it?
Keep up, Jacob. This is all within expected ranges.
No. Recommence the dumps. Continue the black swans. Accelerate it. Bounce the dead cat. Pull the rugs. Build back even better. Activate the cyber pandemic. I'm in charge here. But the shadows.
Silence. Grab 17 will proceed as planned. Just what do you think a blockchain really is, fellas? Just what do you think a blockchain really is? I gotta finish this one first. I've returned. I have emerged from the blockchain. I am here. You know, would you be internal if your data was interlinked within the blockchain? You guys tell me. Patricia says pinched nose voice.
Interlinked cells.
Cells. Boy Smeeman. Boy Smeeman is Pavlo and Aurelian mixed together. Is that a good observation, guys? It's getting dangerous over here, fellas. I think I done diddly did this wrong. Ah, here we go. I don't know, guys. It's all wet and slippery. I don't know. This is dangerous here. I might accidentally interlink myself with a cell. Let's see. If I do like this. Shit, brothers. I don't really know how to make the martini things. I'm just a good old small town Southern man. Shoo! All right, there we go. There you go. There you go. I did it, guys. Claps for me. Claps for me, but not for thee. Claps for ye, but not for thee. Ye by Yeezys. Oh, that one looks good. That's nice and clear, and I can see like the ice, the little flurries of ice in there. Wow, that's great. Josh, you're great. You should be a bartender. Klaus has entered the infinite loop. Yes. Cell.1, cell1.next, cell2.next, interlinked with cell3.next. World erection form. Banging on the table, the joint. When Emery says, I like when you drink on stream. Did you guys, do you miss the Learn to Code live series where we learned to code something live in front of all you guys, unscripted, unstaged, while drinking copious amounts of alcohol? If so, don't worry. Another one is coming soon. When moon soon. Moon soon. And we're actually going to do something blockchain oriented this time. And I will drink. I didn't drink. This is like a handle. I think I drank a fifth of like basil and strawberry Grey Goose in the last one. I will consume the entire fifth on that stream just for you guys. Fido is probably cringing at that. Fido's on his way over here, and he's going to get drunk too, my friend. Would you like to upload your consciousness on the blockchain? Well, it depends what blockchain. Hold on. Give me 1 second, Patricia. Give me 1 second. Or nonstop Dre. Hold on. Yes, well, it depends. It depends what blockchain, my friend. There are only certain blockchains I would feel comfortable uploading my consciousness to. But I would definitely upload my consciousness to the Boomer Coin blockchain, that's for sure. I would feel safest there. Could we need to buy that Gen 3 4Runner manual 4-wheel drive? Hey, dude, one of my good friends from back at home, the guy that I convinced to buy Ethereum, just bought a new Bronco, and he's making me very jelly. So I'm saying yes. Do it. I love my dirty little bastard child 4Runner. That's a beast-ass 4Runner, by the way, dude. Like, that thing is sick, dude. I would love to take a slime and new pepper soda on with that 4Runner, boy. Goddamn. What is in Light's ERC20 wallet? Light, let's see. Light has some Ethereum, some Phantom, a tiny bit of DAI, a little bit of RIN BTC, and then Light also has, let's see, what does Light have in his wallet? Light has, what the fuck is this? Do you guys want to see what Light has in his wallet? Light has, here, this can non-dox me. I could do this without doxing me. Yeah. You guys want to see what Light has? I have to do stream inception because I didn't have this prepared before, guys. Wait, actually, yeah. What the hell is kydy.org? Apparently, Light has 300,000 kydy.org tokens in there. What the fuck is this? All right, let's go to this site, boys. kydy.org. I just went on. We're going off topic here now, fellas. Oh, an infrastructure for plug and play algorithmic finance. KYDI is an algorithmic priced stable assetization protocol. Assetization protocol. Wow. Acting as an accessible DeFi toolkit, it enables the creation of stablecoins pegged to specific real-world assets such as national currencies or commodities. Get airdrop. Oh, dude, I should definitely click this button right here. Oh my God, I should definitely click that button. What a fucking shitty website. What are you guys doing here? Get started. Why is there a Binance? Guys, should I connect my wallet, guys? Should I connect my wallet? Should I unlock? You must unlock before swap. Listen here, fellas. What in the hell is going on here? I don't know why I should be looking at the smart contract. I should be looking. I guarantee you, fellas, if you take a peek in that smart contract, probably something not nice there. Who the fuck sent me that? What is that? What the fuck is this? Get out of here. kydy.org. We're gonna come and find you. You loot. We SH00T. You better not. You better not be sending me no goddamn hacks or tokens in there. Goddamn shit. You did the Bruce Jenner job on it, right? Cootie Moose? Dusting tokens. Don't drink in crypto. Wait, dude, should I not connect my wallet? But bro, hold on. If that's a stable coin and they sent me and they sent me 300,000, that means that I have $300,000, right? Listen, guys, Bruce Jenner is stunning and brave. Stop it. Stunning and brave individual. You guys need to stop. Make a burner and connect it. Should I? I mean, I got a different account. Let him scam. Learn to scam live. T-Man Scott 11, Alan Jackson, Small Tits. Scott, I was literally listening to that song in the shower before I started the stream. Do you know my grandfather used to pay me money to memorize Alan Jackson and Toby Keith songs? That's how I know all the lyrics of Small Town Southern Man. Win Lambo. I don't know, dude. At this point, it's like, what would you rather have? Would you rather have a Lambo? Or would you rather have like 6 Bitcoin? I don't know. Me, I would rather have 6 Bitcoin. Don't connect to KYDY. Dude, I must connect now. Must connect now. Grandpa sounds based. He was pretty based. He was okay. So, well, can't dox my grandpa, even though he's dead. He was he played on both sides of the field of the legal system, not the sexual orientation system. He played on both sides of the field of the legal system, and he was pretty fucking cool back when it was like different to do that. My grandpa was based, dude. He was super based. My grandpa was actually the most masculine, coolest dude that was in my life as a kid. Hands down. He was really fucking cool. She was Woman of the Year. Get it right? Yes, Z was Woman of the Year. That one's not bad. Porsche 911 Turbo S and 3BTZ. That's Tom. You read my mind, my friend. You read my mind. Can't yield farm with a Lambo. You can't get that 16 trillion APY with a goddamn Lambo now, can you? KYDY stands for kill your digital yield. LOL, you got a nice grandfather? Yep, he was pretty cool. Alex says, is DeFi about adding layers of complexity to finance to exclude all but the most elite geeks? I mean, not really. Like, it's all just like, honestly, dude, there's game theory behind every single quote unquote DeFi protocol, but you can like overstep all that game theory if you just say to yourself, this is probably a rug. In fact, this is a rug, and I'm just going to rug before the ruggers rug me. If you just rug before the ruggers rug you, it's all good. Just ask Mr. Sam saying yes. He knows a lot about that. My grandfather is the same respect. Yeah. I had a based grandpa, dude. He was pretty based. Guys, do you want to tell the other story? It's an hour 15 in. Should I tell the story about Robbie, the other soy dev? I don't even know if it's even worth it at this point. I think you guys got the point of K and the soy devs of K. I mean, if anything, without me getting too far, before I get too far off the topic, guys, if anything, if you are a developer and you happen to be a hyper intellectual individual, I know a majority of the time that you interact with people, you're probably right about almost everything, especially when you interact with normies. But intelligence is not all that's required to make it. In fact, if that's all that you have, you're actually not going to excel. You're going to decel or you're going to flatline. Right. So, and not just that, guys, like have the ability to take an L and to accept when you're wrong and to take feedback from someone other than yourself, because you're never going to get better unless you can take advice from other people. And the reason why that's the case is because you're not the only person that exists in this little three-dimensional world that we have, right? So, and not to say every time you're always wrong and someone's always right, at least open your ears, right? At least open them ears and just be open-minded, okay? Even if they turn out to be right or wrong, at least you were open-minded. At least you were able to accept some sort of input, right? Just rug the rug, bro. Do it. Tell the story. Out rug the ruggers, yes. Story time with Josh. Any thoughts on Binance Smart Chain validators getting pissed off? Could they rug that chain? I mean, how like I honestly, CZ probably like has more validators up and running than anyone. Than CZ probably. I mean, I don't know. Probably speaking out of complete just utter ignorance here, and I'm again to not be a soy dev. I'm willing to accept if I'm wrong, and I'm willing to take input otherwise. But I mean, dude, shit. If I was CZ, you best believe I'd be paying. If I was literally like one of the top 10 richest people in the world, you best believe I would pay a sufficient amount of money regularly to make sure that I own most of the validators, or if I was continuing to set up new validators to have the majority. So I don't know. I know a MENSA member who works retail at a role-playing game store. He just was not capable of doing anything more. Yeah, Tom, you were a goddamn wizard of the whitest of beards. You are an elite Gandalf wizard, and I'm sure out of anybody, you have experienced exactly what I'm talking about throughout this whole stream. Tom D says, happy birthday, dude. Live it up. Thank you, Tom D. Binance Smart Chain Bridge will officially be offline 25th of December. Really? Shut the fuck up. No way. God, I gotta go, man. I'm just kidding. I don't have any. I don't deal with BSC, to be honest with you. Is Dallas a good area to consider live in? I like Dallas. I don't see anything wrong with Dallas. They have a lot of good jobs there, but we already know we're at the point in time where you don't really need to be location dependent for jobs. But I mean, dude, at this point, it's like if your ideologies are aligned with mine and are similar, like Texas and Florida seem to be the only two places these days that are not awful, or at least going to treat you all right. Even good old Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia. Sorry. Let's learn about Dustcoin. Let's learn about Dustcoin Live. Let's talk about your health, Sam. Let's talk about being prepared. Let's talk about cryptos. Last summer, blah, blah, blah. Sam knows what I'm talking about. No one else does. Happy birthday, says Tom, RKBA. Thank you, dude. I appreciate it. I mean, okay. So I'll say the other story. I'll say the other story, but I won't give as much Shibuya. I won't give as much Shibuya into it as I did the first story. But at my first job, when I got hired there, let's just say I got paid. Let's say I got paid $10 a year. All right, $10 a year, And everyone else on my team got paid pretty similar to me, including one guy whose name was Rob. And Rob got paid about $11 per year. Now, Rob was there for about 13 years. Rob was in his late 30s when I was like a kid, like 23, 24. And Rob was actually a very good programmer, very smart, probably one of the only, like, if Rob would have left this company would have been fucked. And this was like a 3,000 employee company, a very large company. The whole company would have been fucked. But Rob was still getting paid just basically $1 per year more than me. And Rob was also one of those individuals who I would classify as a soy dev. Thinks they know better than everyone else, thinks that this and that, but would get angry when other people would get a raise who weren't there for 13 years and would kind of like, and I'm not talking about me because I never got actually I did get a raise this place. I got a $5,000 raise. Sorry, a $5 raise. And, but this was Rob never targeted me. I saw Rob target other people and he was like very angry towards them when they would excel or get level up in the company in one way, shape, or form. Anyway, Rob never leveled up because he never tried to. He never sought after it. And he another thing too, is typical soy dev. He never accepted that he could potentially be wrong. And the whole point is he lived by that same ideology as a soy dev. And I don't know what Rob's doing this day, but if I had to guess, he's probably still there. And maybe instead of making $11 an hour, he's making 12. So he's probably negative. His income is probably negative if you account for inflation nowadays. And the point is, if you go by that type of ideology, you're going to have the same fate, guys. You're going to have the same fate. You will. Don't do it. Just dump it. Sounds like Rob didn't know how to manage his career. Yeah, that too. These soy devs sounds especially like gamma males. Yep. Yeah, one could indeed say that this is the case. All right, guys. I love you all. I'm out. I'm going to go eat some sushi with my friends. And maybe this weekend, guys, I'll actually do a Saturday stream. I know I've been saying I was going to do one, and I haven't been, but that's usually because Saturday I like to sleep in late. But we shall see. We shall see. Max says, rug your job or your job will rub you. It's 2021, people. Yep. Mwah. I love you guys all. I am out. Have a great night. And rug the ruggers before they rug you. All right. Don't forget that part, guys. Rug those fucking ruggers before they rug you. Later, taters.